My passion as an architect is to create spectacular designs, and part of that is to take into consideration people who build, live and work in those buildings. And let's face it, if a building is dangerous to build and difficult to maintain, then it's not good design.
Over the past 13 years, changes in the law have begun to affect the way architects and designers work. The aim of this programme is to help you understand how CDM regulations affect you, and how you can make them work to your advantage. In this programme, we talk to various experts to see how CDM compliance affects their work. We get top tips to help you get to grips with it, and we see how one architect solved a tricky design challenge with an award-winning solution.
The construction industry, sadly, over the last 25 years has killed 2,800 people at least, and injured many, many more. Unfortunately, over the last year the increase has continued. 28% in the last year. Nearly 70 people were killed in the construction industry over the last 52 weeks. Something needs to be done to improve that.
As designers, we're working under huge pressure to get projects completed on time and on budget, and the budgets themselves are often very constrained. Health and safety, of course, is hugely important, but it's only one of the things that we have to deal with in designing a building. And for many practices, medium and smaller practices, it's very difficult to keep abreast of all the current legislation and make sure that you're being compliant.
A lot of people are looking for the panacea solution to CDM issues. Frankly, we need to look at the methodology behind these problems. That is the challenge for the future.
Leslie Clark are construction consultants based in the heart of Soho in London. We caught up with managing partner Ian Smith, responsible for health and safety, and with architect Peter Capelhorn to find out how they're making CDM work to their advantage.
Since the CDM regulations changed in 2007, a lot has changed for us. It now seems much easier to make health and safety work. And now it seems to be about what actually matters, i.e. making the projects we work on safer to build, safer to maintain and safer to use.
That's because it really isn't just a name change, but a change in the way CDM is undertaken. So what's actually changed?
From a project manager's point of view, the main changes have been that the CDM now applies to all projects. The client has to sign the F10, and the planning supervisor role has disappeared and been replaced by a CDM coordinator.
The fundamentals of CDM 2007 have been to remove the bureaucracy, to make things much simpler, to actually focus on the real issues and the real information that you need. The best way of demonstrating that is to look at a recent example that we had where we were given a project already designed and already designed around using mechanical access platforms through a plethora of louvers and wires across the elevation. We decided that that really wouldn't work in the real world, so we took the design apart and looked at each element, and we produced a document which basically took the elements of the elevation and then looked at each risk, and we ended up with a process which gives you the drawn information, the written information, and this is exactly what the HSE are talking about. It's one document. So the way the HSE put it is providing the right information to the right people at the right time. And that really is the essence of CDM 2007.
In good examples, the designers work closely with the contractor to work out the best way of making the solution work. And understanding from all sides is absolutely essential.
It's important that we speak to the architects right from the very start. It helps us to alleviate most of the problems along the way.
Frustratingly, mistakes happen for the same reasons every year. There are many simple measures which can be taken to prevent accidents and ill health.
On this particular project, originally we were using the heavyweight concrete blocks, which are near on 20 kilograms each. Constant lifting, etc., would cause repetitive strain. We went back to the architects and the designers. We come up with a simple solution of a lightweight brick. There was a cost element. It was, as I say, a simple and effective solution.
On site, the contractor is responsible. However, all designers need to ensure any changes in design do not create new hazards or resurrect previously removed ones. Teamwork is essential.
I think that the regulation provides a fantastic opportunity for designers and contractors to work together.
Principal contractors are now brought in much earlier, so they can work with designers to produce the pre-construction information.
And that really is providing an opportunity for the designers to come to the table with their creative ideas and their innovation, and for the contractors to come on board also and say, okay, let's think about how practical this is to build. Let's actually go out to site and look at what the kind of issues that we might find come out from the designs that you're providing us with.
In the UK, 96,000 construction workers are suffering from musculoskeletal disorders caused by heavy lifting. And bad design doesn't just ruin lives, it can also cost an awful lot of money.
Unfortunately, there's too many examples of where designs cost clients significant amounts of money during the use and life cycle of that building. Small considerations up front, taking on advice from your architect, can save you significant money through the 30 years you're going to use that building.
So we know what the changes are, and it's clear that consequences of bad practice can be fatal. But what should you be doing to make sure you minimise the risks? Ensure you have a copy of the basic ACOP paperwork. There's one section for each key professional. Go to the REBA website for more information. Integrate CDM into your programme from the outset. Make it routine.
Generally, providing you have a good understanding of the principles of CDM and can apply those, then a standard template pro forma of your office procedures is perfectly sufficient to demonstrate your competence, then augmented with CVs of your staff who have previous experience of similar jobs, then that can be rolled out to clients and CDMCs as and when required.
REBA have a health and safety template which you can find at architecture.com.
It's important to inform our clients that they too have a duty under the CDM regulations, and it's a good idea to have some kind of policy in place that would ensure that the project at each stage of the design process is checked for compliance, so that when it's completed you know that you've covered all the stops.
It really isn't that complicated. What you really need to do for your CDM procedures is to focus on simplicity. Make sure that you inform the team, make sure you keep the client involved. One way of doing it, I find, is use the acronym ERIC, which is Eliminate, Reduce, Inform and Control. It's that simple.
Large documents will not get read. Complex charts don't convey the message. Simple, clear explanations that include drawings are the best way forward. In its day, St Giles Church, Camberwell was at the cutting edge of new design. Built in 1844, it incorporates priceless medieval German glass and designs by John Ruskin and William Morris. In 2004, the church underwent interior renovation, including the reconstruction of its lighting system.
When I first arrived nearly 6 years ago, they had some temporary lighting. And we were very keen to replace that lighting. Of course, the whole electrics would be condemned. So we had to really consider health and safety aspects as well. Our architect said that he would come up with an innovative design.
When we first got involved in the project, we had a lighting designer on board, and they had suggested a conventional scheme which put conventional lighting quite high up in the building. So you were talking about 10 or 15 metres up, and that's a long way up. That's a very difficult location to get to change light bulbs. We looked at the design again and decided that we would try to create a design which was in keeping with the historic building and at the same time was easily maintained. Do you use that little light up there?
Tim's solution was to use a rise fall fitting with a counterweight balanced against the light fitting, similar to late Victorian designs.
When we need to change the light bulbs, then we have a special pole which we connect to the light fitting and just pull it down. We're really pleased with the design. It's a great design, it works really well for us, and people really love to see the different features of the building lit again, which they missed for at least 10 years, probably a bit longer than that as well. So it looks really, really great.
I think it's a bit of a myth that thinking about health and safety can somehow stymie a designer or prevent them from being creative. On the contrary, I think it can stimulate a designer to come up with something more interesting, more lively, more exciting in a way. Creativity is about dealing with practical matters all the time anyway.
Health and safety regulations are not there to impede the creativity of good design. There's a whole range of information and resources available to help you, the designers, keep on top of all the changes. For latest information on the new CDM regulations, visit the RIBA website or follow the links at the end of this programme.
I really believe that good architecture improves people's lives. It therefore follows that in making buildings and maintaining them, we shouldn't harm people. Unfortunately, every year in the construction industry, thousands are injured or maimed and even killed. I'm very happy to endorse this programme because it shows how we as architects can learn to anticipate problems and to design safely, to be constructed safely and maintained safely. If architects take a lead and take a full part in health and safety, they can benefit the project as a whole, instead of health and safety being a separate little compartment. So I urge you to take part in this programme so that you can make great architecture which is safe to build.